Hello, Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players. This is Andy Teshorto. Today I'm going to be covering the kit of Jango Fett. Hello, Jango Fett is here. Yes, this is exciting. I'm excited that he's finally in game, or finally going to be in game. Yeah, it's awesome. I don't see why we couldn't get him sooner, but hey, we got him now. First, getting him down the road. So. Before I do get into his kit, I want to say if you do watch Arnold T's video, there is a little slight activation that he shows, and it shows it to 2-star. Of course, they say that it's not confirmed how he's going to be activated. That could be either a actual teaser that he's going to be a marquee event, which is such a disappointment. Which, when I saw that, I'm feeling more 100% certain they're going to be doing. I'm not guaranteeing it because I don't have any proof or way to guarantee it, but he's probably going to be a marquee event, and I just hate that. He would have been a perfect bounty hunter legendary. Perfect. Yes, we already had Boba Fett in game, so he couldn't get him to be the legendary character. Yes, you could theoretically do a KOTOR era legendary event for Calo Nord. That's great. If they do that, great. But I still want Jango Fett to have been legendary. There was 2 other characters I feel like they missed the boat on being legendary, and that was Wicket and Mother Talzin. Wicket for Ewoks, and then you needed Night Sisters for Mother Talzin. Well, I don't know why. I don't know. It just I don't know. Just so sad. But outside of that, Jango Fett's kit is phenomenal. This is a kit that's all I can say is the last character that I bought to get to 4-star from 3-star with that like $10 pack was Darth Sion. Yes, I could have gotten a few others, but I just decided not to do it. Jango Fett, when he comes out, I'm paying the 10 to get him to 4-star because duh. So let's go over his kit. Unscrumptious gunfire. I'm not going to pronounce that properly. Deal physical damage to target enemy with 15% offense for each enemy suffering a debuff during this attack. That's good. That's good. It's starting to have some sort of extra damage based on debuffs, similar to IG-88. If the target was suffering a debuff, Jango Fett attacks again. So he's going to start having extra attacks. Awesome. Shrapnel Blast, which I don't know why they didn't call it something due to his jetpack rocket or something. But Shrapnel Blast is good. He uses the jetpack rocket, which is awesome. Deal physical damage to target enemy and a random enemy, kind of like old Daka's basic. And then you inflict healing immunity and stagger on the target for 2 turns. So that's good. That's good. You stop their healing. So if you're going against like Darth Sion, or not, any sort of high healing character, it's going to stop that. Conflagration. This is his flamethrower ability. I'm glad he had a flamethrower ability. He needed one. He used one in the... Well, technically, Boba Fett has this ability too, but it kind of changes it up. Then again, if they ever bring in like Pre-Vizsla, he's going to have some similar kits to Jango Fett, except he'll also have a Darksaber ability. But let's not talk about him right now. Inflict burning for 3 turns, just like R2-D2. So if there was like a thesaurus of similar characters, you'd have old Daka, you have R2-D2. This is awesome. This attack can't be evaded. Target enemy loses 25% max health stacking if they were suffering a debuff. Raid bosses lose 10% tenacity stacking if they were suffering a debuff. That's rather interesting. Really interesting, actually. So and this is another character that does work with going against raid bosses. So it's definitely for sure certain that bounty hunters are going to be best #1 in PvE area. Territory battles, territory war, and of course the raids. So that's good. Anything to get ahead. Scoundrel allies, not bounty hunters, scoundrels. So if you want to use Raid Han on this team, go for it, because you're going to give him 30 speed on top of whatever speed mods he has, or, you know, crit chance, crit damage secondaries, and he's going to go really fast. And all enemies have negative 40% tenacity. That's huge right there. Just that line right there. He's giving negative 40 tenacity to enemies. Now, if you go against, of course, they have the game changers have tested it. He doesn't work as well against the Jedi, but at least he has something against the enemies, because the enemies tend to have a ton of, or at least the Jedi team under Bastila has a ton of tenacity. It's like 150 or whatever. So you're at least dropping it down to, yeah, not that much. It should be in 50, but eh. Enemies have negative 20 potency for each debuff on all bounty hunter allies. That's good. So if your opponent, like, say, Darth Sion spread pain around, guess what? Jango Fett and all the bounty hunters are now giving, say, Palpatine negative 100% potency, so his AoE shock or stun ability won't work as much. Enemies that are suffering burning cannot gain bonus turn meters. So this is a light, kind of like a light daze towards those that, you know, get burnt by his configuration. However, yes, you could theoretically use R2-D2 on this team to stealth throw it on Bosk and start burning as well. You're also buffing bounty hunters anyways, so R2-D2 could play a potential spot on bounty hunter teams, but not as much as actual using bounty hunters and or scoundrels. Also, another note to think about the lead: 30 speed with Enfys Nest. That is going to be a game changer there. So yeah, there's a lot of predictions of who can really be the best on this team. Anyways, bounty hunter allies gain 35% offense when they have bounty hunters resolve. So that's huge. Just a spoiler if you haven't read it already. Bounty Hunter's Resolve is like Boba Fett's ability to where he dies, he comes back at 100% health. The first time around with that locked ability. Jango Fett does have it automatically, so that's kind of nice. But anyways, the contract, damage a debuffed enemy 20 times. So you do an AoE, and then say you do Jango's AoE first, then you do Boba Fett's AoE. Well, you dealt, there's 5 right there. You do IG-88's AoE, and then Dengar's AoE, or something like that, or call all to assist with Bosk. You're going to get to that 20 pretty quickly. And the reward is giving all the bounty hunters bounty hunters gain bounty hunters resolve at the start of their next turn, and plus 25% crit chance. And then, of course, their payouts are activated. So that's huge. That's huge. Bounty hunters are going to start bouncing around being dead and alive. I will say, going against a Night Sister team, if you have to keep killing that zombie, all the bounty hunters are going to start killing that zombie so much, especially if it's the paper version, then their character will, the bounty hunter will die, come back, kill the zombie, and then they'll be back to getting bounty hunters resolve again. So that's kind of nice. Notorious Reputation. He did have one. Jango Fett has 100% defense penetration and 50% max health. Enemies defeated on his turn cannot be revived. That's huge. Usually that was the ability of Boba Fett's Execute, but it's on Jango Fett as his Zeta. At the start of battle, whenever he defeats an enemy, Jango Fett recovers 100% protection, just like Boba Fett that does that, and gains Bounty Hunter Resolve until he's defeated. So again, hey, there you go. This unit can't... also, the Bounty Hunter's Resolve ability says this unit ignores taunts, and when defeated, revive at 100%, which can't be dispelled or prevented. Wait, but dispelled or prevented? Okay, I don't know if that's properly right, because if you use Boba Fett against the Jango Fett, Boba Fett's, terminate should take it out for good. Same with Darth Nihilus as Annihilate. So I don't know if that's actually properly right, but I could be reading into it wrong. And then Jango Fett's payout also gains damage immunity for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or prevented, and 50% offense. So for some reason, if you did have R2, you just barely pop that. R2 goes next. You could throw everything to Jango before he takes his turn, and he's essentially a pseudo tank that takes a ton of damage, but literally takes none. So that's always nice. Of course, this is the synergies they suggest Jango with these teams. The game changers have tested these teams, so it's pretty good against some of those characters. Now, I will say though, I can suggest a few options for Dengar's spot. For number one, you could theoretically run IG-88 for even more damage output. You could use another tank like L337. Giving speed up for L337 is great, but also there's another one that you could use. Well, first off, L337 is really good in that spot just because every time she gets hit, she will dispel scoundrels, and all the bounty hunters are scoundrels anyways. And Jango is also giving L3. What I would be giving L3 is 30 speed, so that's good. Two, I kind of talked about it before. Yes, you could throw Infy's Nest or Raid Han in here for some early turn damage, or dealing with turn meter with Infy's Nest. So yeah, there's a good few couple of characters you could throw in that spot. Stormtrooper Han's a good option as well, because he speeds up the team when he's taunting. Yes, he'll die quickly, but the point is you're getting these guys to go off. I will say, yes, taking a bounty hunter out makes it so that you're less likely to hit the payout, but at least you're, like with L3 Stormtrooper Han, you're at least adding some more taunting, so you're kind of keeping taunts away from these three here, Embo, Jango, and Boba. So that's a good option there. But other than that, yeah, that's just, kind of my thoughts on some team synergies that you could play around with, because I'm sure people are going to play around with that idea. Also, Jango is a good option for a second team. The first team would be a lead for Boba Fett. I kind of got this idea when Urzatron did a collaboration with someone covering none other than Zam Wesell's Rework. And I will say, Boba Fett works the best. From what they were predicting, is Boba Fett would work the best under Zam, especially since there's a ton of synergies. So you could have two teams for between territory battles, territory wars, and raids. So that's some good opportunities there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start covering over her kits. Her basics stayed the same. Not much to talk about. I kind of wish they did something more to it, but hey, that's fine. See what sticks. The thing they added after they placed the thermal detonators on for 2 turns, she also gained speed up. I forgot to also mention, thermal detonators are now locked, so they just made thermal detonators better, so they cannot be dispelled. However, even though the ability of the thermal detonators are locked, this ability, detonating shot, still works. And I'm assuming also Jawa Scavenger's grenade that detonates thermals also works, so it may have actually made Jawa's maybe a 2% better. I don't know the right percentage there, but they're kind of a back team. I'm sure if they rework them, they'll probably have it to where Jawa Scavenger's ability to be damaged and throw grenades on thermals on enemies that damage would be increased from 50% to 75-80% chance. I don't know. But yes, thermal detonators have now the lock symbol, so they cannot be dispelled, which makes things... Oh, I will say this, it will make it so much better when you're facing the Wampas in territory battles. The dark side territory battles are coming up the next day or so, and stay tuned where you can actually have fun with the thermals being spread. Electro Goggles, this one's a huge one. Inflict evasion down on all enemies for 4 turns, and place a thermal detonator on all enemies that already had a thermal detonator for 2 turns. So, if you see what sticks, and then the next turn you throw Electro Goggles on, you just sit there and spread more thermals. Then Zam recovers 10% protection for each enemy with a thermal detonator, and regains 50% turn meter, which can't be evaded. That's huge right there. So you're getting extra turn meter, and if there's any other reasons to have extra turn meter from other characters, you get it to where you can then start popping these off. Thermal detonators are just going to start pop, 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 and you're just going to keep things rolling. So that's kind of nice. Final text. Shapeshifter got a whole overhaul. I kind of wish they did something where she also got the benefits from the opposing leadership. So the main leader would give, say like Darth Nihilus gives her, turns protection to health, and then she gets 150% health steal, extra offense and stuff like that. You know, she would be able to get that. I would have been kind of cool because she's a shapeshifter. She's able to shape into that. But unfortunately, she did not. But anyways, so at the start of battle, Zam gains... apparently this is a Zeta, and it's an extra 10% on all the stuff. But 20% increase to offense for each scoundrel attacker. Max protection for each scoundrel tank. And max health for each scoundrel support or healer. I don't think they have any healers yet, but if they do... Technically, I think Captain Han Solo should be a healer, but whatever. Having a blast. This one has been reworked too, all the way. Oh no, this is a brand new ability. Never mind. Which actually, to this day now, all 10 bounty hunters, the whole faction has a leadership. This is the only faction that you can choose. You have 10 possible leaderships to play around with on leadership, choosing which leader you want to run, how you want to run your bounty hunters. That is huge. That's huge. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But anyways, bounty hunter allies gain 25% potency and recover 4% health and protection whenever an enemy is dealt damage by a thermal detonator. So this is another really good thermal detonator leadership. This is a lot of people are with Urza, and I don't remember who he was collaborating with, Urzatron, but he said they were thinking that Boba Fett's, gaining a ton of turret meter and getting extra, all the potency they have, they give it into health and stuff would actually be better, because whenever a thermal explodes, turn meter is gained, yada yada. So that's why, this one's a really good option as well. But yeah, whenever a bounty hunter ally uses a special ability, they inflict a thermal detonator on the selected target for 2 turns, which can't be evaded. When Zam is the leader slot and not the ally slot, you have to inflict, the contract is active, and you have to inflict 20 bombs on enemies. Great. All bounty hunter allies, or bounty hunter, now inflict thermal detonators on enemies whenever they die, which can't be evaded. All bounty hunter allies have their powers activated. So what's nice is with the reward is the thermals, when they die, they inflict thermals. So Jango Fett and Boba Fett, say they die, they come back, but they've inflicted thermals on everybody. Great. So that means now they have thermals to deal with. Yeah. Final text for Zam's payout. Whenever an enemy takes damage from a thermal detonator, Zam has a 25% chance to dispel all debuffs on herself, gains stealth for 1 turn, and gains 2% max protection until the end of the encounter. So that's pretty cool. So she'll get more protection. She'll get to gain more protection from thermals exploding. Especially if she's the leader with this. She throws up the thermals, and then she starts popping them off with a basic. That's 4 health and protection, 4 health and protection, 4 health and protection. And especially if, like, say, Dengar was there throwing extra thermals and Greedo throwing extra thermals, they have 3 on each. She's going to have a lot of max health, or the bounty hunter team is going to be, maxed out like no tomorrow. So this is an exciting character. Between her and Boba Fett, they're really good options for leaderships for thermals, because no one else really has a thermal bonus. But outside of that, hey, I don't know. This is exciting. I really like these 2 characters. I like how Zam Wesell's finally gotten a rework. It's great. I can't wait to see how the bounty hunters will work. And of course, now we'll get to see Game Changers do tons of live streams on figuring out who has the best bounty hunter build, and for arena, etc., etc. And so far, Jango Fett's leader, Jango Fett, this team here, I will say, can beat Traya-led teams. Well, I think it was Traya and Palpatine, but struggled a little bit with Palpatine. I'm not sure. I don't remember really. That was earlier in the day when I watched the video, so I got busy taking care of kids. But yeah, I think it was exciting to see this kind of stuff happen. So I apologize for the length of this video, but I just wanted to cover both Zam and Jango in one video. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate all those that watch the videos I make. Really appreciate if you guys, leave a like, subscribe for more content. And yes, even though it's a slow process, I'm slowly improving and I am doing my best with it. But again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate all those watch videos, and you guys have a wonderful day.